G'day Internet, it's Kale from mParticle here with Smeet Shah from our solutions consulting team to talk to you about Profile API. Now, one of the most important things that mParticle does is help you build up that omni-channel comprehensive view of your customer. And we do this by collecting data from any touch point, from your website, from native apps, from your backend services, from third-party services. And we use identity resolution to bring that all together into one customer view. And you can see what this looks like here in the user activity view in the mParticle dashboard. I have here all the IDs that I've collected for this customer, all the workspaces that I've seen the customer in, what devices I've seen them on, and importantly down here I have all my user attributes, and I'm setting these from all kinds of different sources. I have a machine learning algorithm that's returning me customized product recommendations. It's returning a churn risk score for this customer. I'm purchasing third-party demographic data about age, gender. I'm setting preference information inside the app. I've got all sorts of stuff here. And similarly, I've also got here all the memberships in audiences for this user. So all the segments that they are part of that we've created in the audience builder. Now, we already use this profile for a lot. It drives downstream analytics forwarding, it drives user segmentation, it drives multi-channel messaging campaigns. But this data here is really valuable and it can do so much more. It can really help you reach out to your users and provide like one-to-one personalized experiences in the app. And that's what Profile API is all about. And that's why I've asked Smeet to talk to us today. Smeet's on our solutions consulting team. And Smeet, it's really been your job to help our customers get maximum value out of mParticle, maximum value out of their own data. So I wanted to go through a couple of use cases with you. So I have this e-commerce app here, Items for You, the finest items, which you will particularly enjoy. I'm selling stuff here. And I have this carousel on my home screen, and I want to populate it with great products to get my users excited. But because I sell so many different things, it's kind of random right now. It's a bit of a mess. I want to show my users items which they will particularly enjoy. So I need to put a little bit of personalization into this. So how do I use the Profile API to get started here?
Sure. So we've got here a sample Profile API response, and you can see it's got everything we have stored against a user profile, all their devices, identities, attributes, everything. That's a lot of information. It's quite frankly too much information to solve any one particular personalization use case. So we've got here a sample service that just calls the Profile API, and then we've built that into a little middleware service that will narrow down the results and return just the relevant information to the client for personalization purposes.
Awesome.
So here, what we're doing is, if we have those machine learned product recommendations for a user, we'll use those. That's great. That's the gold standard. If we don't have that, we can say, okay, let's look at the user's purchase history. Can we show them something in the carousel that's related to the last thing they bought? If we don't have that, maybe we've got some third-party demographic information, and we can show them products based on that. And if we don't have any of that, we can show them a generic carousel similar to what we just looked at.
Cool, so if we actually apply this in the app, I've hard-coded a few different users here so we can test it out. So if all we know is our third-party purchase data that we have a male and age 22, whoa, Xbox, Ferrari, Red Bull, skateboards. If we know a little bit more, we know what the person's last purchase was. There was home decor. We can show some calming tables and couches and footstools. It's beautiful. And if this user's been around for long enough to have custom machine learned recommendations, we can see that these products span all kinds of categories, but they're all tailored to the specific user's interest and the specific user's budget. So this is great for in-app. Smeet, where else can we get this information and use it to change customer experience?
You can leverage the Profile API really anywhere that you can make an HTTP network call. So we've got here a sample Twilio app that we've built for a customer that wants to personalize the phone support flow for their users. So what this app does is whenever someone calls into the phone support line, we'll look up their profile and return their churn risk score, which is stored as a user attribute. If they are a high churn risk customer, they'll be routed to a human operator and a win-back campaign can be launched. And if they're not a high churn risk user, they'll just be routed into the regular customer support flow.
This is fantastic. And of course, by using a customized point of sale system, you could deploy a very similar kind of campaign even in a brick and mortar store. You could launch, say, a welcome back campaign if a user visits the store after an amount of time away. So this is really great. Now your user profiles are one of the most valuable assets that a brand can build. So what the Profile API is all about is really making that asset available to you in more places. So you can use it to drive one-to-one personalized experiences, not just in your messaging, but in your app, in your support flows, even in your brick and mortar stores. So thanks very much, Smeet, and thank you everybody.